Hi guys, today we are going to see a 2018 released horror movie called The Mermaid Lake of the Dead. Centuries before, a girl commits suicide due to love failure. Later, she turns into a horrific evil mermaid in the lake. She mesmerizes the men with her beauty and asks, "Do you love me or not? You can say anything, however you will die." A young man named Steve gets entrapped by the mermaid, and his girlfriend tries to save him several times. Whether his girlfriend would be able to save him from the mermaid or not is the plot, which moves in a terrific manner. And once again, welcome back to our channel Bunny Recaps. Let's get into the movie. The movie begins at a lake with a man standing on the dock, gazing out at the water. His wife calls him several times but no response. When he turns back, he had bloodshot eyes, and then immediately he jumps into the water. However, the wife requests to be taken instead of her husband, and immediately her husband comes out of the water. Then the wife is dragged and drowned in the lake by the dark hands beneath the water. Now the scene shows 20 years later. Steve tries to teach Marina, his fiancée, to swim. After that, Steve's friend Adam jumps into the pool and dares him to a swimming race. They leave Marina alone and head to another pool. While Marina practices herself and almost she drowns. Luckily, Steve finds and saves her. Marina is still upset with him for almost letting her drown. At late night, Steve and Adam drives to his old and abandoned house, where his father asked him to sell it off. While entering the basement to restore the electricity, he notices that the basement is flooded. Steve then reveals Adam that his mother drowned and died in the very same lake. Steve is frustrated when Adam invites more friends, along with an exotic dancer. Then he walks out to the lake's dock and he makes a call to Marina. But she is busy repairing the faucet, and then he dives into the lake. While swimming, he realizes the presence of someone and returns to the dock. He then notices a weird girl wearing his shirt and brushing her hair with a wooden comb. And he is drawn to her and they kiss. She then asks, "Do you love me?" with her grin of sharp teeth. Hence, Marina's phone call goes unanswered. At dawn, Steve's friends find him unconscious near the lake and immediately wake him up, and he asks everyone about the girl. But no one sees her. Adam then gathers his clothes and the comb with them. Later, Marina discovers the comb among his clothes. Afterwards, Steve trains in the swimming pool, but he is unwell and performs poorly. The coach reminds him about the next day's competition to qualify for the next level. While he is showering, the water abruptly stops. And another shower auto opens, and when he switches to the second shower, the water shuts down again. And the lockers open and close on their own. Then the mermaid appears behind him and asks, "Do you love me?" Then Steve is at home, shivering from fever. And Marina is making tea for him. Steve feels Marina tickling his foot soles as he quickly sits upright and looks around. But no one is there and Marina has just stepped in. Then he returns to sleep after drinking tea and mumbling, "I don't love you," in response to the mermaid's question. Marina later video calls Steve's elder sister and shows off that wooden comb and explains everything. Then his elder sister discovers the wooden comb in one of their parents' old photographs. Marina later sees that the mermaid stroked Steve's hair in the shower. But just as she's ready to face them, they vanish, and she notices the same comb in the bottom of the bathtub. While she attempts to get the comb out, the mermaid's hand pulls her in. She suddenly awakens from her nightmare. The next day, while Steve is swimming for the tournament, he strangely finds himself within the same lake. The minute he resurfaces on the dock, the mermaid appears on his top and asks again, "Do you love me?" But this time Steve says no. The mermaid then unveils her horrific evil face, and he regains consciousness after being saved from drowning. Later, he has found himself at the hospital, and he reveals the truth about the incident on the dock to Marina, Adam and his elder sister. Marina walks out in anger after learning that Steve kissed another woman. Despite his illness, Steve pursues Marina, then stumbles into a room, sees Marina's shadow behind a curtain, and the floor is wet. Then he pulls the curtain, but no one is there. Marina appears beside the sink, but this time he discovers the actual Marina at the doorway, and the door slams on its own, and the monstrous mermaid emerges out from the blanket with her awful twisted body and assaults him. Marina, Adam, and his elder sister break the door and discover him unconscious, wrapped in the curtain. Then they all approach his father to uncover the truth, and the elder sister tells her father about the mermaid tormenting Steve and shows the comb. His father first reluctant to open up, but when he sees Steve, he anxiously reveals the past in which he was plagued by the mermaid. And his wife found a way to get rid of the mermaid and the comb, but it failed. Tragically, his wife sacrificed herself to save him, and after that his life has been wretched up, and only the mermaid remains with him everywhere. Then they drive to the abandoned house in search of a solution. The elder sister then goes to the lake with Adam, and Adam dives into the water to seek something relevant to the mermaid. Then he uncovers a grave in the name of Lisa and dead bodies around underwater. Then, he is terrified and rushes to the rowboat, but the mermaid tries to drag him in. Fortunately, he flees, and the elder sister tugs the rowboat's rope towards the dock, and he safely climbs up. Meanwhile, Marina encounters a woman at the cottage door while fetching water, then she follows the woman inside. There she notices some rituals have been performed already. Suddenly Steve's mother spirit appears in front of the mirror and is constantly reciting, "Take what belongs to you, give me my loved ones." She closes Marina's eyes with her hands and repeats the same statement. Frightened, Marina runs back home and informs Steve that she met his mother. The mermaid then drags Steve to the basement, but Marina kicks her while dragging and saves him, and then Adam bolts the basement's door. The elder sister then claims that the suicide victims are not buried in the cemetery, but rather on the shore, where the dam gradually overflows and fills. Also, the comb is labeled as Lisa. Steve calls Marina, she then walks to Steve, who is lying on the bed, and touches him, but Steve says from the corner of the room that someone is hiding beneath the cover. When she removes the blanket but no one is around, and the blanket unexpectedly wraps around her, everyone rush to her and save her. That night, Marina tries the same ritual which was performed by Steve's mother to return the comb, and she asks Adam to stand outside the door. Then she lights the candles, holds the comb in front of the mirror, and repeats, "Lisa, take what is yours, and give me my loved one." Meantime, the mermaid charms Adam, kisses him, and asks, "Do you love me?" He is totally mesmerized by her and says yes. On the other hand, Steve has bloodshot eyes, attempts to unlock the basement door, and he begins strangling his elder sister. The scene returns to Marina, yet she can't see the mermaid approaching, so she gets another small mirror, places the comb in the water basin, and looks into two mirrors opposite each other. She then repeats, "Lisa, take what is yours, and give me my loved one." The comb then vanishes, and the mermaid emerges in the mirror, submerging Marina's head in the water basin. Marina then learns of the mermaid's past. The Lisa's boyfriend proposed her with a ring, but ended up marrying another woman, so heartbroken Lisa murdered him at his wedding and taken her own life by drowning in the lake. After the revelation, the scene shows Steve returns to his original self and searches for Marina in the cottage. Steve doesn't notice Adam's bloodshot eyes as he stands outdoors. Then he smashes the cottage door open, and as he enters, he encounters the mermaid impersonating Marina in numerous numbers, and everyone asks, "Do you love me?" Then he recognizes the real Marina and says, "I love you," and they kiss. As a result, the mermaid screams from the mirror, and the sunken grave is demolished. However, as they get ready to leave the place, as they assume that everything is finished, but Adam goes back to the basement and says, "I do love you." Then Steve goes looking for Adam, but he finds him floating in the basement flood. When Steve tries to save him, the mermaid has already pulled him and threatens, "I'll take everyone you love." And the mermaid rises from the water to attack Steve. Then Marina and the elder sister save him, and the three flee in the car. But it breaks down in the midst of the forest, and Steve inspects the engine. But the mermaid watches her next strike from afar. Marina and his elder sister warn Steve, but he doesn't hear them. The car doors lock themselves, and water begins to rush inside, leading Steve to smash the window with a huge rock. Then Steve decides to surrender himself to the mermaid to end the misery, and walks to the dock. The mermaid asks, "Do you love me?" He says yes this time. But the mermaid is enraged and says, "No, you love her," and strangles him. Meantime, Marina is hit by someone and brings her back to the old house. Marina discovers that she has been tied up to a chair by his elder sister, who plans to sacrifice her in order to save her brother. Unexpectedly, the father arrives in the basement and pleads with his daughter not to sacrifice Marina, since it's been forced. Instead, he offers himself to the mermaid to rescue his son. While the mermaid takes the father, the elder sister suddenly pulls the mermaid's hair. Marina quickly gets a scissor and cuts off her hair, and the hair burns in Marina's palm. Still, the mermaid takes his father, and also she drags his elder sister into the water, despite Marina tries to save her. Finally, Marina discovers the method to destroy the mermaid and approaches Steve, who is lying unconscious on the dock, and tells him to cut off the mermaid's hair. After, Marina jumps into the lake with scissors in hand, struggles against a mermaid, and manages to cut some hair. Then Steve returns to normal, and Marina climbs up and they hug. Marina then asks, "Do you love me?" When Steve senses the mermaid is impersonated as Marina, he quickly cuts off her hair and the mermaid loses her power and falls back into the water. Steve then jumps into the lake and finds Marina unconscious, takes her to the dock, and rescues her successfully. The film ends with Steve and Marina happily driving back to their place. The movie reflects, in any situation, always be there for your loved ones, but never lose yourself for an unworthy person. Thanks for subscribing to us. We have planned to upload more interesting world-class movies with unique stories. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and share your priceless comments. It will help us to reach other movie lovers. And do subscribe and join our family for more upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.